Good evening. I'm Leland Vittert. On the program tonight, why the New York mayor is so angry at the city's prosecutor. The mayor's angry because the prosecutor finally decided to do his job. Massive farmers' strikes sweep across Europe. Yes, it matters here in the United States. Trish Regan on why we may not be far behind with farmers shutting down grocery stores. The NFL says flag football is the future. We'll show you how the almighty dollar is behind a horrible change to the sport. And why the Washington Post suddenly cares about shootings on the south side of Chicago. But first, on point tonight, every once in a while, one story, even one piece of video that captures life, proves and shows what an upside-down world we live in. Here's the video. It's of a convicted felon. You see him there, Austin Simon, walking into a New York bodega, hops the counter, and you can see him attacking the clerk right there. The clerk defends himself right there and kills the con. I know what you're thinking. It is New York, home of soft-on-crime DA Alvin Bragg. Therefore, Leland is going to tell me how many convictions the con has, and it's another example of soft-on-crime policies. And finally, a hardworking citizen got attacked, and the citizen does the job that the woke prosecutor won't. If that were the story, it certainly would not be our lead story. It probably actually wouldn't be a story at all. Here's just a little bit more. The con's girlfriend then stabbed the clerk. Jose Alba was stabbed, and prosecutors refused to file charges against the girlfriend. That makes the story a little bit more interesting, but probably still not a story for us. It's a local crime story in New York. It is our lead story tonight because prosecutors, who can't seem to charge anybody in New York, charged the attacked and stabbed bodega worker. So Jose Alba, the old man with a white beard, has been charged with murder. They wanted $500,000 bail. He faced life in prison for defending himself. Yeah, it's true. All of it. Remember, it's an upside-down world courtesy of Alvin Bragg. There he is, the New York prosecutor who sent out a memo earlier this year saying he wouldn't prosecute theft of services, trespassing, aggravated unlicensed operation, routine traffic violations, obstructing governmental administration, resisting arrest. That's a huge one. Of prosecution. Wouldn't even prosecute them. More importantly, he said his office would only seek pretrial detention, meaning would only seek to keep people behind bars in a handful of cases, murder or certain violent felony cases, sex offenses, domestic violence felonies, or public corruption cases. He said his assistant district attorneys would seek a maximum of 20 years in prison for any crime and would never ask for life without parole. It's become open season for criminals in New York, like Austin Simon. He's the poster child for soft on crime. He's on parole for assaulting a police officer, 8 prior busts, including assault, robbery, and assault during a domestic dispute. But Jose Alba, he was just sitting there before he was attacked. Well, Bragg's going to throw the book at him. There's been a nationwide outcry just in the past 18 or 20 hours. And the New York mayor publicly defended Jose Alba. Bragg is backed down, sort of. Alba's now out on a lower bail. But to be clear, the DA in New York, who can't charge anybody with anything, charged Alba with murder for defending himself. The convicted felon's girlfriend who stabbed Alba, well, she's off scot-free. There's no two sides to this story. These are the facts. It's on tape. The charges have been filed. We don't need to go on. The video says it all. The question is, why is this our lead story tonight? Is crime in New York, what happened in a bodega, really all that significant to the rest of America? It is. That's why it's our lead story, because it shows you what an upside-down world we live in right now. That's on point tonight. Bobbianchi, former prosecutor in New Jersey, now famed defense attorney around New York, joins us. Is there any reason for Alba to have been charged with murder other than the obvious that Bragg cares more about street criminals than he does about law-abiding citizens?
Leland, having run a prosecutorial agency and having been in the same position he's in, there have been a lot of decisions, obviously, that he has made that are just confounding. Of course, you're supposed to be enforcing the laws. You're not supposed to disregard laws. You take an oath to follow the laws in the Constitution. That's the start of your lead with respect to that. The other thing was with regard to bail reform, which is completely dysfunctional. Now, don't forget Jersey, where I practiced, it was the contiguous state that had this bail reform, and it worked very successfully. But New York did not add a significant component about danger to the community to any significant regard in the scoring factor. So what does that mean? That means people that are violent offenders can be released. And then when you look at what you're trying to get to here, Leland, is what we call parity. In other words, equality. Does it make sense that many people get out, and in a case like this, where if I were looking at it, as I do look at it, but when I was a prosecutor, I would say, look, the only potential reason that he would be arrested is if you believe he could not avail himself to the justification of self-defense. If self-defense is in the case, then why would I take a law-abiding citizen, a person who's working, do I need to have them incarcerated prior to a trial or out there with a high bail when the likelihood of any kind of reoffense is so small, especially in light of the fact that he is not the initiator of this whole thing? So it makes no sense to me.
Well, the obvious answer, right, is that Bragg cares more about the criminals than he does about law-abiding citizens. He wants to send a message that you can't defend yourself because the life of the criminal threatening you is more important than the credible fear you have for your own life. That's the obvious answer, right?
He's abandoned with this idea of social justice reform, criminal justice reform, bail reform. These are all good things if you use the rule of reason with them. But the primary responsibility of a prosecutor is to protect the community and to also ensure that the cops are maintaining an appropriate posture in the manner in which they go about themselves. But there seems to have been, in my estimation, from what I'm seeing here, in his mind, well, social justice reform means let everybody out. And all that's going to do is significantly affect especially marginalized communities.
It's not everybody out. You make a great point. This is happening in marginalized communities. They're going to lock down. There's going to be less bodegas. There's less places to buy food, less places to buy diapers. But at the same end, it's not let everybody out. It's let everybody out but Alba. The mayor actually has come to his defense pretty remarkably. I got 30 seconds, Bob. GoFundMe took down the bail GoFundMe fundraising site for Alba. Again, we've seen this. We'll raise money for anybody so long as our politics fit in. And if it's somebody who defended themselves, then no dice.
Yeah, I don't know the decision there at all. I can't get it. I mean, I agree with you completely. And the only thing I could think of is that maybe, and I'm just speculating here, somebody said, God forbid he gets bailed out because they use GoFundMe and then he goes out and commits another crime and somehow they would be responsible. That's the most tortured logic I could think of, Leland.
Yeah, there's a lot of tortured logic here, if you can call it logic. Hey, Bob, it's always good to see you. Thanks for taking the time on a Thursday.
Thank you, Leland.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.